the GG Naturals Homestead channel. It's Tuesday and it's time for our live chat at 5 p.m. Actually, it is 4 for me, being in Central Time Zone now. As you can see, and as you probably know if you've watched any of my posts or recent videos, we are on the land now. So I'll have to tell you guys about the story. So if you are catching the replay on this, then you'll be able to hear some of it as we go. But we are on the land full time. As you can see, I set myself up so that we could see out this window right here behind me. And so I wanted to be able to see out this window so that I could see our plants back here. And they just look so good back there to me. So I just wanted to make sure that we could see all of the plants back there. That's a good handful of them back there. Some palm trees, as you can see right up in here. And I'm just, listen, I don't like complainers, and I don't like to complain either. So there we go. I'm just going to be totally honest. I had gotten to the point after we had been here a couple of days. I was like, what the heck? What the heck just happened? Like, I'm accustomed to being inconvenienced at this point, but like there's levels. There's levels to the inconvenience. There's levels to everything in life. So right now we're going to a point where it's like I never imagined. I moved my bucket from the back. I had to move it out of the way to make sure that nobody could see it. So I got a question for you guys today. Hey, everybody coming in. Hello, hello. I'm glad to see you guys coming in. Hello. What's the biggest inconvenience that you've ever had to endure? That's what I want to know in the chat. What's the biggest inconvenience that you've ever had to endure? Let me say hello to some people. Hey there. Hey, Shirley, OG Gardner. How you doing? First one in the room today. Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate you. Hello, Growing with Donnie. How you doing? Hello, my Renaissance grandma. Hello, my Granny's Garden. How are you doing? Hello, Duval City Girl Gardner. How are you doing? Blessed too. How you doing? Juan Perez. Hello there. How are you doing? So I want to know, what's the biggest inconvenience that you all have had? Mine is probably using the bathroom outside. Let me just be totally honest. Using the bathroom outside is probably my inconvenience, but it came time. Ooh, I just saw that. My Renaissance grandma, I saw that. And that is a very, very close second. Let me just say that. I don't know. Come to think of it, that might be my first. But I'm going to say that was my second because we do have some water. It's just in jugs. It's in bottles. It's in the big containers, the big, the gas looking containers, what the old gas containers looked like back in the days. The frog says hello, guys. So your biggest inconvenience. So yeah, I'm going to say the biggest inconvenience is probably using the bathroom outside. Although, believe it or not, it's not terribly uncomfortable because Eco Neighbor thought enough to get a seat to go over the buckets. Okay. And so when we were out here and we were clearing land, that's how we went to the bathroom, because otherwise it's going to mean driving, 15, 20 minutes to get to a store or get to somewhere. And to me, that's gross. That's really gross. That was the really gross thing, is actually going into, and I have just become this way. I've been like that. I hate going into public bathrooms. I hate using public bathrooms that everybody else uses. So that, yeah, I would rather use the bucket any day. Hello, hey Shakira, how you doing? Hey Homestead in the Hood, how are you doing? So Miss Renaissance grandma said no water. That was her biggest inconvenience. Um, let's see. I lost my glasses. I don't know where my glasses at. I've been looking and looking. I have no clue where they are. Um, that that's it while camping. Hey Homestead in the Hood, how are you doing? Duval City Girl Gardner said my stove went out in December. Started using convection oven, 2-burner stove, and crock pots. Now I'm okay with it. Ain't that something? How you really become. That was gonna be one of the points that I made. You really become so accustomed to the things that we one day called difficult. And so, and back to my point about us, when we were out here on the land, we just weren't going to drive into the city, into those nasty bathrooms and the restaurants and things. So, hey, why not just get some soil, get some sand? We got plenty of sand. Get some sand, put it in a bucket, do what you got to do, bury it on up. And that's kind of how we had been. And so when we moved out onto the property, let me go back to why I want to talk about somebody. Listen, the way things are going right now, I really truly hope that you guys have been listening. I really truly hope that you all are really prepared, because I have heard so many stories since I said what the RV rates went up to, over $1,200. And that was just in some of the areas that are closer to the beach. They're anywhere from $1,300 and up. Hey, AJ's Green Thumb, how you doing, brother? Good to see you in the chat. Hey, Darthex, how are you doing? Didi in Vegas, hello, how you doing? So if you look, I'm going to challenge you to look in your area. The average when we first started living in the RV full time was $400. And that wasn't just in the Tallahassee area. That was, up and down Florida. In some of the most beautiful areas you could get. Actually, one of my family members was also RV living before we went RV living, and that's what they were paying. They were also paying $400 a month to live at the RV park. And then all of a sudden, now the price has jumped and shot up to $1,200 and something dollars. It was just a mess. It was a mess. And then now people are coming in saying my rent just jumped up by $1,600 in over 1 month. In 1 month, my rent has jumped up $1,600. How are you going to survive? How are you going to survive? And this is why us content creators, we sound like a broken record. We're saying this. Now I have to have this. I don't want to mess up my light, but this is who we got right now powering my light. Because guess what? Sometimes things don't work as well as you think they're going to work for you. And you've got to have a backup plan. So every time somebody says, you need to have some solar power in your life, and you roll your eyes, I'm just going to say, sisters and brothers, make sure that if it's a 1/16 of an acre, which is what I feel like we live when you're living in an RV park, I feel like that's what it is anyway. Even if it's just a 16th of an acre that you can spend a couple of $1,000s on, or a couple of hundred, depending on where you are. Can you hear me okay now? Hey, James Franklin, how you doing? If, if you can spend just a little bit of money to get on a piece of land, or to have somewhere else to go, just in case your landlord decides one day that he or she is not making enough money off of you and the 15, 20, 30, 100, 300 other people that they are making money off of in the rent cycle. If they decide one day that they're just not making enough and they just need of you, and they can increase at any time. If you read through your contract, I guarantee you'll see it, that they reserve the right to change their rates at any time. If they decide one day that they're just not making enough for you, you want to be sure that you have somewhere, some sort of backup plan, somewhere to go, a piece of family land, somebody willing to go in with you, to share, to share rent, to share bills, to share rent, to share bills, to share whatever. Have another plan, because I'm telling you, if we would have had to do what we had to do if it would have been that, we were in the RV and then we just were forced to pay that amount. But to triple the rent and literally in a matter of a 2-month span, it's just outrageous. It's outrageous. And these greedy companies and these greedy individual people, it's unreal. It's unreal, but they are doing it. Can y'all hear me okay? While I didn't realize that it worked like that, thank you for informing us. You are very, very welcome, Dee Dee in Vegas. Yes, that's happening. It's not just happening here. It's happening some of everywhere. $1,200 for a parking spot. And it's like you need to be living in that parking spot almost for a house you already own. Wow. 3 times the amount. Yeah, it is expensive. It really is, and it's nuts. Roots to a Garden. Hello, how are you doing? GT Junior, how you doing? But yeah, hey Brenda King, how are you doing today? Homestead in the Hood said, if no one is on prescription drugs, learn how to safely make human manure. Okay. What's for dinner? Chicken. Hello, Robert. How are you doing? Yeah, I made some chicken earlier, a little while ago. Thankfully, how many people are on propane? Thankfully, we have propane, and we have tanks that we always seem to think are empty, but they're never empty when we take them to refill them. So propane actually goes a long way. So that's something that you may want to consider having. And I saw somebody else say that they were using the burners. So make sure that you have something like, a little box, a little handy box. I really don't even want to call the name. I started to call the name, but I don't even want to really call the name, because those are like the names that we hear all the time in terms of battery power pack. They're not the only ones that you can get that will actually last a long time for you, because some of the companies, are the same, just with different labels on their stuff. Hi, Jenna versus Jenna. So how many people have propane as a backup? I'm so happy that our stove has propane. I was afraid of it for the longest period of time, but now I love it because it does not take me all day to cook. And then once I turn it off, it stops cooking. Since my sister's tenants have not paid rent in over 1 and 2 years, I can't imagine how much when she does decide to rent after they do finally get evicted. It's gonna go up. This is the society that we living in. It's gonna go up. And those people who have not been paid, that's a whole nother matter. That's a whole nother matter. Yes, I get it. I get it with those people. If they have to increase their rents, because guess what? I would do the same thing. If I hadn't been paid in 2 years, I'm having to, if I had a mortgage on whatever I was renting and I had to foot that bill, then yes, I would increase the rents as well. I give them an opportunity to either pay it or leave. However, for these greedy people that have been getting their rent, these RV parks, they will kick you out of there. You're going to pay them up front, as a matter of fact, before your move-in date. So they're getting their money. They're getting more than their money. And so for those people to then go and triple the amount of rent that they have, it is just pure greed. Let's just call it what it is. It's just pure greed. So when will you heed the warning? Which warning will you heed? you know, will it be the one that's saying that food prices are going through the roof? Hey, Miss Marie, how are you doing? Good to see you in the chat. There's GT Junior. I mean, I love propane. It goes a long way. It goes a very, very long way. Gardening with Bernie. Hello, how you doing? So which warning are you going to heed? Which is it? So whatever you think is going to happen in this society, that's a personal thing. That's personal to you. Whatever you think is going to happen. But whatever it is, just prepare for that. Prepare for whatever you think is going to happen. But don't just sit there and do nothing and then look for other people, to go and take what they have. Because I promise you, you're not going to want to run up to these other people's homes and these other people's farms and these other people's homesteads and then think that you're just going to take something from them. That is not the way people are set up today. They're set up actually prepared for the type of people that don't want to prepare. And the thing that annoys me the most, I believe, is the ones that are just saying, oh, I don't want to. I just don't want to. Right, leech off of others when you've been warned. Yeah. It's ridiculous. I don't like bugs. I don't like bugs. I don't either. But guess what? I like for my family to eat. I like for my family to be as prepared as they can be. And so I sacrifice whatever is necessary so the family can be prepared. So if we had no food today, then guess what? I've already in 2020, when I started canning, back in 2020, canned as much as I could can. Once I learned, I canned as much as I could can, and we've been rotating food out. Still have food. So if you go ahead and prepare, you don't have to worry about being in a position where you just don't have anything. It's gonna get hard. When I'm going to the grocery store now and I'm looking at the prices on just the basic things, there are a lot of things that I just tell my family, nope. YouTube full of gardeners that hate bugs. Yeah, and guess what? And they still do it, right? They'll grow. They just keep on growing. They just keep on doing it because they know that they're going to need this skill. You're going to need this skill, whether you like the bugs or not. There's a whole lot of bugs and all kinds of stuff running around out here. Thankfully, we've only had the encounter of one rattlesnake at this point, and that's what everybody keeps telling us in this area. Out because there are plenty of rattlesnakes around here in this area. Yep, yep. Yes, my Renaissance grandma. We don't care for bugs like that. We don't want them. And the thing about it is, number one, they come in, they eat in your crop, they eat your food. Hey, Aunt Tia's backyard. How are you doing? Hey, Janet, welcome. Good to see you. They're out there eating up your crop. I even had some that were eating my citrus. I couldn't believe it. Eating it, not messing it up, like the virus that attacks citrus plants, or bacteria, or whatever that is, that attacks the citrus plant. Not that. They were literally eating it. It looked just like a hornworm, but it was some other type of worm, and it gets as big around as a hornworm because they're eating all your citrus. So when you squish it, then guess what you smell? Citrus, because it's been eating all your citrus. So there's all types of things that are around here, that are in the garden, that are in, if you're in the South, I can just talk about the South because this is where I lived all my life. If you are in the South, there are some serious stuff that happens in the garden, and you have to be ready to fight. You have to be ready to fight. Hi, Robin Murphy. How are you doing? Hey, Cheryl. How are you doing? Miss Cheryl Faulkner. Good to see you in the chat. I've been canning here lately. Good for you, Gina versus Gina. Good for you. It is so necessary. And then when you go back and you going into these grocery stores, like just trying to do your normal shopping, it is unreal. It's unreal the amount that the food has gone up. Trying to get eggs, trying to get milk, trying to get those basic things that we're accustomed to having in our life. Hi, Linda Iannoni. How are you doing? Getting those basic things that we normally would get. One of our luxury things now is, once in a while we'll splurge on some chicken legs. And let me tell you, it's a splurge at $35. So I have a Sam's Club membership, and I went to Sam's Club. That same bag of $18.99. It wants to say hello, guys. that frog is just living. But that same bag of $18.99 wings, like the party style wings that we love, that we buy from the wing shops and stops and all of that stuff. $36. $36 for that same bag. So basically has doubled in price. And then that's like a recurring theme here. Everything is sort of doubling in price, if not tripling. So like we gotta stop. We gotta stop with the excuses, because the excuses literally are going to have our families where they can't survive, where they can't do what they need to do. And I'm saying this because, like, in general, I care about people. So, if I know something, then I'm the type where I believe in just sharing it. Share what I know so that other people can also help their families. It's unreal. And I keep asking myself every single time, how are we going to be able to afford this? And then it makes me think, I said, well, I don't want any cows, and I didn't want any pigs, because of my convenience, right? Because I want to be able to jump and go. I don't want a fully functional farm, because I want to be able to still go whenever I get the inkling to go. So if you're that type, you know what I'm talking about. If I just decide on one day that I want to go to the Florida Keys for the weekend, I can do that without having anything to worry about other than the kids. But When you got cows and pigs and dogs and cats and all of that stuff, you have to take into consideration all of that. You have to take into consideration that, they could one day, they could break a water container. They could knock over their food and it fall in the mud. And then if you're gone for 3 days at a time and you don't have anybody that's there to share in the responsibility with you, then your animals are going to be in a bad situation. I used, ooh, I've been looking at the screen too long, so the words are getting small. Hold on. Uh, Hello. Hey, Grace, guys. How are you doing? The corporations are adding pennies, quarters, or more each day or week. It is amazing. I see it every week as I work where shopping is a pleasure. Wow. Wow. Yeah. Oh, and one thing else. Oh, I'm glad you said that. I'm glad you said that, Miss Linda, because I have noticed when every time that I go, let me just call it, because a lot of these people have been, they have been fined for doing this. Every time I go into Wally World, every time I go into Dollar General, the prices are not the same as they are on the tag versus when you get to check them out. Even when I scan, because I keep the Wally World app on my phone, when I go to scan the items and I take those same items up to the register and scan them, the prices are not the same. Has anybody else noticed it? They actually were fined recently. There were several stores that were fined for doing this, for making sure that the prices that they are showing and the prices that are ringing up when you get to the register are the same. Like, that drives me crazy. So now mentally, when I go shopping, I say that I just tell myself this is going to be at least 10 cents higher. And that has been the standard. It's going to be at least 10 cents higher than what the sticker on the shelf was showing. And that annoys me. And it's happening in Wally World and it's happening in Dollar General. It never fails. It never fails. Y'all been noticing that too? Um, like that's a real problem for me. Okay, I can't respond to you. Okay, understood. Understood. But that's a real problem for me. And I'm like, go ahead. You have enough employees that are standing around doing nothing, letting the line go to the back of the store. And then the Dollar General stores, I'm like, look, y'all have no excuse with these little bitty behind stores. You have no excuse. Just bring another person in and have them change the tags if you're going to increase the price. Don't be surprising people at the register. That's not cool to me. That happened to me in Publix last week, and Publix gave it to me for free. You know what? And that's the quality shopping experience. And this is why a lot of people do go there. A lot of people do shop at Publix and prefer to shop at Publix because they still today, even in this economy, they still have standards. Now, you gonna pay at Publix. You're going to pay, but you're also going to get a better experience in most Publix stores. And you're also going to get a better quality of product because that's what they pride themselves on. And they've been sticking to that. That happened to me. Okay. They have been this for years. I got some stuff really cheap because of this in Wally World. Family Dollar just got me like that yesterday. Laundry detergent. Customer service. What customer service in Indiana? Wow. Wow, Lola. But yeah, this is what they're doing. Yeah, they're false advertising, GT Junior. They are doing it at the gas station now too. Wow. And then a lot of them don't want you to get receipts and things. A lot of them don't want you to get receipts. And you know what I can't believe? I know I'm just rambling. In this economy, I can't believe the bad attitudes of these people that are working in customer service in some of these places. The like they're just so angry that they have to come to work for some reason. They're so angry that they're getting a paycheck every week or every 2 weeks for some reason. And then you have people out here who want to be getting that paycheck every week or every 2 weeks. They want to be able to actually take care of their family. And they won't even give them a job. They keep sending out all of these emails and all of these notifications and putting up signs, the whole nine. But they are so picky with hiring the people who actually would do a great job, telling them they're overqualified, etc., etc., etc. Or your credit wasn't high enough, so we can't offer you this job. Or you spent time in prison, even though you're no longer on parole. We still can't give you this job, even though that person will probably do a great job. That person will probably feel blessed to have that job. That person will probably do better than everybody else because they don't want to go back. They don't want to go back into the system. But they won't give them the job. It's almost like some of these companies are self-sabotaging. It's almost like they really and truly don't want to get the extra help that they need. They're doing everything in their power to allow themselves to go to the AI system, to where all they'll need is probably one human being and then the rest robots to take care of the people that are coming in to still spend their money with these companies. It annoys me. It really frustrates me because we are at a point where we have to literally go in a store and avoid the employees because their attitudes are so nasty. We have to go in stores and totally avoid the employees. Go to the self-checkout, getting robbed in prices, and then go to the self-checkout to be the free employee of these companies. This is what we're having to do right now. This is what we're having to do. Yep, giving the jobs to the bad apples over the ones that truly want to be there. Right. It's a shame. Get out. See, I don't like bugs either. They flying around. Miss Linda says yes, but you must remember that they are dealing with some awful customers on a daily basis who complain every time they in the store. I hear it when almost every customer complains about the prices. Miss Linda, here's the thing. I agree with you. I totally agree with you. I had a lot of experience in customer service. And one of the things that is always, always, always asked in interviews of me is, how do you deal with difficult customers? Okay? How do you deal with difficult customers? And your answer can't be get an attitude with them back. That just can't be your answer. So if people annoy you that much, customer service just is not the experience. Having my own business, I took one of our daughters with us to every single event so that she could get the experience of dealing with difficult people. People who pissed just because they got the blessing to breathe today. They don't know why they're mad. They don't know why they're upset. You know, something happened in their personal life. So they come to you with the drama and the nonsense. But guess what we couldn't do? We couldn't cuss them out no matter how bad they act. Yes, we could refuse service to them. But as the business and as the person who is supposed to be committed to serving the customer, you can't be like, well, they had the attitude first. When you're in customer service, you have to learn how to go higher. And yes, I'm not denying anything you're saying. I know the type of attitude that people come in the stores with. As a matter of fact, every time I'm in line behind somebody who has a nasty attitude, I do my very, very best to make that representative have an excellent experience when they're dealing with me after they've had to deal with somebody that's like that. So I get it. But at the same time, we have to, we got to know if we're going to go into that, if we're going to go into that type of environment, we got to know that we got to go higher. We just have to go higher in that type of environment. Like a smile, it says nothing. Even as a customer service representative, you know, with phone experience, my voice had to smile. They had to hear the smile in my voice. I don't care how pissed off I was at what just happened or who just came in with a bad attitude. That next person has not done a single thing to me. So I have to treat that person. I have to be ready to start over again and again and again with everybody that comes in there. Hey, Miss Native Cherokee, how are you doing? I'm mainly listening. I can hear the annoyance in your voice. I'm sorry. I really didn't mean to be like that. But I really get annoyed with some of this stuff. Free employee, yeah. We're becoming free employees. You know, going to use to check ourselves out, to do our own shopping, to check ourselves out. We're becoming free employees. And yet, you know, the prices are rising constantly. Hey, Love Notes, how are you doing? I just used to smile and help the best I could. But if they get too rude, manager or a supervisor, I've been a waitress, flip burgers, and a cashier. Yeah, they tough. That's why they try to vet you as you're coming in. That's why places like Chick-fil-A, you know, they send their employees to training. I have a friend that I went to high school with who is a trainer for Chick-fil-A. They send you to training before putting you in front of their customers because they want to make sure that every experience that you have with them is pleasurable. They want to make sure of it. So they put money into making sure that they train their people. And even at some of those locations now when you go, you know, you might not get a my pleasure. Like people are frustrated. People are having um, difficult times in their personal lives, and they're bringing it to work. And it just can't do that. Hey, Love Notes, how you doing? I never like cashiers touching my food and stuff. They don't wash their hands. I check myself out always. All right, go for it. Go for it, Love Notes. um, Hey Tammy, how are you doing? Hello everyone. That is why these companies don't have employees. People don't want to deal with customers, so they find work elsewhere. And that's the best thing to do. Like, if you don't want to deal with customers, if you don't want to deal with their attitudes and etc. And then if you're, having rough times in your life, ask to be. My husband always says that person need to be sweeping the parking lot. They don't need to be dealing with people. They don't need to be dealing with customers. Put them on trash duty. Put them somewhere else. They don't need to be dealing with customers. And we Gen Xers. So there's still some, beliefs that we have as being 40-something-year-olds. There's still a belief that we have. There's still a level of discipline, and you are a certain way when you're dealing with customers. Like, we hold those things dear. Like, our work ethic is more important to us than our emotions. And so when you're dealing with us, when you're dealing with the older people, they don't want us. Matter of fact, they don't want us in the position. They want the younger people, but send these people to get some sort of training. Like, meet with them before they log on to the shift. Have a manager make sure that they're in a good mind state, so that they're not running your customers off, because they'll run me off. I spent 3 years at one point without setting foot into a Wally World because I was just sick of it. I was fed up. I didn't want to deal with them anymore. I just didn't. I couldn't do it. And I just thought that with me going into a store, taking my hard-earned money and my husband's hard-earned money and taking it into a store and giving it to a company that does not think it's important to say thank you. Or to say hello. I appreciate you coming to bring your money, because every time one of you come through this line and scan something and buy something, that means that I still get a paycheck. And the thing is that the stores, most of them are going to survive, but they're going to do it without you. They're going to do it without you. They're going to make sure that they're, like, the robot cleans the floors now. The people don't have to sweep anymore. They got a robot that they don't have to keep paying a salary. Yeah, they had to put in, put the upfront money to get the robot. And all they have to do is make sure that it keeps running. They don't have to deal with the attitude. They don't have to deal with any of that. Miss Cherokee. What you said, Miss Cherokee? I hated being a cashier and waitress, but I need the job. I was doing college at night for law enforcement, plus I was a mom to 3 little ones. It was hard. Thank God for friends watching the kids. Yeah, we have to do what we have to do, don't we? Just keep smiling and moving forward. Yeah. Yeah. Too much talking. All those pep talks at Walmart, waste of time. Love Notes. See these flies are getting on my nerves. But yeah, please and thank you goes a long way. Goes a very, very long way. I made the mistake of going to this one cashier, and then my husband let me walk up to this cashier, and he knows how I am about customer service. So he let me walk up to this cashier. I walked up. She said nothing. So this day I just wasn't even. I wasn't feeling it. She said nothing. I said nothing. He said nothing. And so I just paid for my stuff and I just left. I was like, look, she is not about to mess up my day. She's just not about to mess up my day. So I went ahead and got what I was getting and got out the store. And as I was going out, I told one of the greeters, because the greeter was so nice. She was so kind and so, just she had a good spirit about her. I said, you can teach such and such a whole lot. She up there working directly with customers. You can teach her a lot because she really needs some training or something. And my husband was like, all right, this small town babe, they're probably her cousin or something. I was like, I don't care. If that's her cousin, then it'll be easier to talk to her and tell her to get her attitude together. We paying to make sure that you all still have a job. Just like Chick-fil-A and McDonald's, customer service differs because of how the company respects its employees. Exactly. 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 It probably won't be long before they scan your whole cart. You know what? I wouldn't be surprised. Hey, Lisa Williams, I just saw you. How you doing? There's a restaurant here in town that has a robot waiter. And I saw another lady order just some toiletries. There was a video going around. She was at a hotel, ordered some toiletries. They had the robot bring it. And then just had her say how push in that she received it, how her experience was. Your experience ain't nothing but great with the robot. But this is what's gonna happen. And we used to make it a point to make sure that we supported the cashiers and not the self-checkout, because we were like, we saw it coming when they first started installing the self-checkouts. No, we're not going to do this because they're going to be trying to get rid of the employees. They're going to be trying to do away with the employees. And look, years and years later, that's exactly what is happening. Hey, Nikki, how you doing? That is exactly what's happening, is that they're going to do away with these employees and the robots are going to take y'all job because you hadn't been fighting for the job. The way you fight is by giving excellent service. I feel confident in saying that Chick-fil-A will never have a robot-filled store. I feel confident in saying that. They might have some things that help them to work more efficiently in the store, or to help them save money. Let's keep it real. But I feel confident in saying that they will never do away with their employees. Yes, that happened here in Vegas at Wally World. They replaced all 15 cashiers with nothing but self-checkout. See? It's coming to a city near you. Coming to a city near me. Hey, Cassandra, South Fulton Garden. How you doing? Sensational Gardening. Hello. How you doing, sis? Oh, take care of your gardening hands, sis. They will tell you I was the best greeter they ever had. I would even wipe down the carts for my customers. I could tell you everything on sale, where to find it, give them a coupon. Because when you're invested, this is what happened. Hey, LaShawn Black, how you doing? When you're invested in what you do, that's what you do. That is what you do. My daughter's one of her shift lead or somebody sent her a message, sent her a card in the mail telling her thank you for how hard of a worker she is and that he appreciates her. because she gives great service. You know, we just don't have a lot of that. It doesn't matter what was going on in her life when she went out to work with me. This is my business. If your attitude is not right, you can't go with me. So we would get out there, we would deal with all types of people from all types of walks of life, with all types of attitudes and all types of everything, and still treat them like it was a pleasure. Still treat them like it was a pleasure for them to come and to support my business. And it was. No matter what type of day they had had. Help them to have a better day if you're in customer service. Help them have a better day. Hey, David Corey, how you doing? Yeah, it's only a matter of time, Juan. It's only a matter of time. And, you know, I just want, this is what I can do. I can't take care of anybody. But this is what I can do. I can say to you, you know, be encouraged. Be grateful for having an income. Because a lot of people right now are living out in these tents. We drive down the road and it's whole tent communities. Those people want jobs. Those people would give anything to be able to walk to your job and do your job better than you. Yes, tent cities. They're happening everywhere. Hey, Stacy, how you doing? They will give anything to be able to walk to your job that you hate. I just think it's ridiculous. They'll give anything to be able to go and cash that paycheck and get their kids something to eat. They'll give anything for that. When you get excellent or poor service, be sure to let management know. How do you expect to make money off of folks while being rude? Customers equal job security. Thank you, Sin. Thank you. Thank you. We're already coming in doing our part. We're coming in doing our part. When we come in and we spend our money with these companies, we're doing our part. Do your part and get out your feelings and say hello to your customers. Be willing to help your customer find something. Be willing to help your customer get something off of a shelf. It's just ridiculous. My generation has lost the basic fundamentals of saying please, you're welcome, and thank you. Juan, I don't know how old you are. If you don't mind telling us, like, are you a Gen Z? I have Gen Z children. And, you know, we instilled all of that stuff. Say please and thank you. From a very, very young age. My oldest daughter, our oldest daughter, me and Ego, she was, I don't know, maybe a year old, and she would want to help with everything. She just wanted to be in the midst of everything. She wanted to be all involved. And when I would get to a point in the day where I was just like, Lord, these toys, like I'm about to break an ankle, like it's too much stuff. And you know, Barney was a big thing back then, and so I would say, hey, it's time to clean up. And she was at the point where she could talk, And I would say, don't yell no. Just say no, thank you if you don't want something. And so I would have my husband, I would be like, look, she's saying no to everything. And she wasn't saying it in a nice way. Y'all know how little babies are. So, no, everything was just screaming no. And so I would be like, say no, thank you. Say no, thank you. And so when I would be like, okay, it's time to clean up. And she would just keep playing and say, no, thank you. And I thought it was the cutest thing, just hilarious that she had learned that you don't say no and scream at mommy no that you're not going to do something, but just say no, thank you. And she would say no, thank you. She wasn't ready to clean up. So I just thought it was hilarious. And even little kids get it. So we don't have any excuses as adults, When you've been trained, when you've been guided to say hello, welcome to wherever you work. And then you still decide that you just gonna forget all of that because you mad. I mean, you're just mad. You're just angry. And so you're gonna forget all of the training. You're gonna forget, like Love Note said, this meeting. We just had this pepped up meeting in the back of the store. Everybody was yelling and screaming, we're ready for the day. We're ready to give this great customer service. We're ready to do all of this and all that. And then they walk away and they roll their eyes at the fact that this management team, these team leads, these CSMs, have just tried to pep them up for the day. They pissed because somebody had the nerve to try to pep them up to go give great customer service. They pissed. That they about to go and put in they 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 hours and make a check at the end of the week or every 2 weeks. These are adults, practically. These ain't kids. They at least 16 and above. 16 ain't no adult, but I'm saying you old enough to know better. You're old enough to have a little bit of, maybe I can say thank you because I'm getting paid for it. It does something to me. Hey, Seasons of Tree. Hey, welcome. It's so good to see you. Yes, David, she was being polite. When you've been trained, they were in attendance, but no training, no training, no change took place. No change took place. And I'm like, what? And I keep asking myself, what are you so angry about? What are you so angry about? You come into a place that's fixing to give you some money so you can pay that card payment, so that you can try your darndest to pay that rent, because these landlords getting foolish. You can try your darndest to pay that rent. You can buy food for your family. You can go on vacations. You can do all of this stuff. You can do all of this stuff with that paycheck that you're making. and you still can't do the basics of saying hello to a customer. It's just a problem. It's just a problem. Donnie, you would be surprised. You would be surprised. It doesn't happen often, Donnie, okay? It doesn't happen often, which is why I continue to give them my coins. It doesn't happen often. Oh, one restaurant down here didn't even pay the employees. They only got tips. What would you make if you only got paid tips? What would you make? How well would you do? Would you be able to take care of your family if you only got paid tips? I'm just gonna go ahead and say that a lot of these people, they wouldn't make a dime. They wouldn't make a dime. But then again, they may get their acts together if companies did that. Just paid them a salary. I'm used to living off of commissioned sales because that's what my husband did. Got used to it. But he couldn't go out there with his attitude. If me and him had a problem, he couldn't take it to his customers and then think that that was okay and think that they were going to keep giving him business. They were going to keep letting him do their work for them. I don't want to be paid on commission. Too risky. Listen, we did it for a very, very long time. We did it for a very long time. And I'll just say this, where there's no risk, there's no reward. So, commission sales, if GT Jr., with your attitude, you would do great at commission sales. You would never have to sell anybody anything. People would be drawn to you. You wouldn't have to go and try to force them to do anything. They would be drawn to you because of your positivity, because of your positive attitude. They're drawn to that. I would get out of people's lines just because of their face. I know my face tells all types of stuff about me too. It tells how I'm feeling. It tells, what my attitude is for the day. And I realize that. But when you are the type of person that you understand what assignment you're there for, you don't ever have to be afraid of commission sales. I was never afraid of my husband being in commission sales. Never. Never. I was only afraid of the greedy people that would steal his jobs that he had gone out and worked for. Those are the only people I was afraid of. I wasn't afraid of what he could do because he understood that when he was in sales, that is customer service. If you're not servicing people, then you're not going to get the money. But if your attitude is right, your energy is right, I can't tell you how many people have just complimented me on what a great human being my husband is because he used to sell them. Some of my Facebook friends, I don't know them for nothing in the world. They would send me a message and be like, I love your husband. I used to work at such and such, and he was our salesperson. It'll come to you when your attitude is right. Better things will come to you when your attitude is right. And they wonder why they don't have employees. Thanks for the compliment. I mean that, GT. I remember when you were talking about, when I asked about your Ninja Turtle shirt, you were like, it just makes me like more approachable and friendly. That's what I'm trying to tell you. You think about the simple things that would make somebody else's day positive and great. Yeah. A positive attitude will take you a long way. Amen. Seasons of tree gardening. Amen. Amen. When I found out how much waitresses get paid, I started tipping half of my bill or a little more. So if my bill is $100, I'm for real. I'm for real. Give a $50 tip. Great vibes or nothing at all. I hear you. I hear you. It makes a world of difference. One of my friends taught me how to tip because I didn't know how to tip when I was growing up. We ate at home. My mom always cooked, home cooked meals. And so going out to restaurants and all that stuff, it didn't happen when I was growing up. So I learned how to tip as an adult. And one of my friends was what broke down the percentages and all of that stuff. And she was like, okay, if they were just give them this much. If they were, and see, I would be like, oh my God, that nasty attitude, you ain't getting jack. But then I learned, through somebody else being educated in how these people get paid. They get paid little. But when my daughter went into waitressing, I said, just on that you. Turn on you, baby. When you're dealing with the people, turn on you, and they are going to make your paycheck for you. They're going to make it for you. And that's what she did. And so the first time she came home and had racked up on tips that day, she was like, Mom, you were right. You were so right. Because all I had to do was be nice. That's all I had to do. And I'm like, how hard is that? How hard is that? It's not that difficult, but you got to get out of your feelings. You got to get out of your feelings for getting out here and growing something. Your family can't survive on you being in your feelings. Get out of your feelings. 15 years ago, I learned. Didn't learn to tip until I had a job where I received tips. My wife is a great tipper. I've had a small business for most of my life, but I had jobs I hated. Customers thought I was so sweet. They didn't know what I was really thinking. And guess what, Sin? They shouldn't know what you're really thinking. They shouldn't know what you're really thinking. This lady stood back and watched me talking to her boyfriend or whatever he was to her at my table one day when we were doing a vending event for my business. And she had her arms folded and she was looking at me like she just wanted to tear my throat out. I don't know this lady. I don't know him. I'm talking to people. I'm helping him make decisions, A, B, C, D, E. And, he got what he wanted to get. They left. As she was leaving, as she was walking away, she was looking back at me like she hated my guts. I never met this lady a day in my life. She was looking at me like she hated my guts. And I was like, okay, and then just went on doing my job, right? And so, he became a regular customer of mine. And then one day, they came back. And she slowly approached the table this time with him. And, I said hello to her because, listen, I'm aware of what happens around me. I'm aware of, people looking at me certain ways. Like, if it feels uncomfortable, I just take note. I mentally take note of my surroundings. My husband had to teach me that. That you need to look up. You need to be aware of what's going on around you. And so she came back, he came back, and we're standing there, we're talking at the table, and eventually her arms came down from being folded and scoffing. Her arms came down to her sides, and I'm having a conversation with her because I realized that like something ain't quite, I don't know what happens in their relationship, whatever, but I just knew that if this person is going to be approaching me, like, it's kind of like when you first meet a pit bull that you don't know. You kind of try to be friends with them. You kind of try to befriend them so that they know that you don't mean any harm. All right. This is customer service. That is what this is. And so she became a customer outside of her boyfriend. Just by me talking to her, just by me making conversation with her, realizing that she wasn't comfortable. And that's all it was. That she wasn't comfortable. I don't know if he's a cheater. I don't know what their situation was, but she was not comfortable. And so this is my business. It's my job to make you comfortable. It's not your job to come in to my business and make me comfortable. I am the business owner. It's my job to make you comfortable, to make you want to come back and spend your money with me. Hey, Sunday Backyard Farmer, how you doing? So you gotta know that, yeah, we taking care of each other, but it's my job as the business owner to make sure that you all right. Growing with Hudson, hey sis, how are you doing? It's my job to make sure that you're okay inside of my business. Every time I walk into a business, I went into a new store, a brand new store that I didn't even realize Tallahassee had last week. And, they just sell something that I love. And so I went in there. Sade 509. Hey, how are you doing? Hello, beautiful lady. May God continue to bless you on this journey He has put you and your family on. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. So just be considerate. If you're in customer service, just be considerate that, we're coming in there, we're paying our money to make sure that we get what we want, but you're also benefiting from it. What you're getting is up to you. Negotiate everything. Hey, Mrs. Queen, how you doing? Yes, some people looks alone are intimidating. Get to know people before judging. And she turned out to be a kind person, but she just wasn't comfortable. She wasn't comfortable with him talking to me. Even though, child, he just wanted some lotion and some soap. He just wanted what he wanted. He wanted that fix. So just be considerate, And guys, if you are going into these stores, I know some people are, hi there, hey, Double A Home and Garden, how you doing? Rambo Green Hands, hey my friend, how you doing? So if you're going into the stores, try your best to support the cashiers, There's some people that you just can't get through to. I don't know how some of these people get customer service jobs. I just don't. There are some people that they hate the world. They hate the world. And I really hate that because I don't like seeing people just upset like that. Just upset all the time for nothing. I used to have a coworker that would come in fussing. And one morning, I was so fed up. And I said, what the hell are you mad at 8 a.m.? What are you mad at? Tell me, please tell me. What you're mad at 8 a.m.? The day hadn't even got started good yet for you. What are you mad at? She couldn't tell me for nothing in the world. But just, she had a hard life. She had just had a hard life. And my response is, change it. Change it. Change your life. Ain't nothing you can do about what happened to you in the past. There's nothing that you can do other than get some healing. Get a counselor. Get somebody to help you to work your mental through all of that stuff that you went through as a child. Because there's nothing that you can do to change it. And holding on to it does nothing except for eat you apart from the inside out. Set tripping at breakfast. Yes, GT Jr. At breakfast. Like, ain't nothing even happened today. Your phone hasn't rung. You ain't got no email yet. You just walking in the door pissed off. And then all of us have to deal with that. We have to be around you dealing with your negativity and your attitude all day. I don't want to deal with it. People bring their problems to work instead of leaving them at the house. Right. Gigi, you want me to still tip expensive as food is? Yes. Yes, still tip. Because guess what? Those people need to pay their rent as well. So yes, 7 a.m. No breaks are probably are just used to being miserable. No telling. No telling. Okay. Whew, new subscriber. Hello. I'm trying my best because I don't like to mess up people's names. I'm trying my best. Shimamanda, I think. Samuel. Thank you so much. I really appreciate you being here. Thank you so much. Welcome to you. I work night shift at a grocery store stocking shelves. I feel we are underappreciated workers. Anyone else here ever stock shelves at night or for a job? My husband has worked in I think it's one of his first, real paid jobs, I believe, was at a grocery store. And, over the years, as things got hard, guess what? He would go right back to those grocery stores and get another job stocking shelves. Yep. My daughter recently was stocking shelves at a place as well. Yeah. It's hard. It's hard for all of us. Okay, if you ask me, but I still don't want to. Please do, sir. Please do, sir. Please. Because I'm telling you, when it is hard, customer service is hard. There's no way to slice it. It's hard. However, one thing that I learned from my very first customer service job, which was a telephone company, a magazine, and we answered for, was it two different magazines that sold clothes. One was for older women and one was for, the younger, more modern, I don't know how modern they could have been, but it was still, like not old people stuff. So one of them was older stuff and then one of them was, younger. And we answered for those two different companies. And the one thing that I started working part-time, I was making $40 per week on that job. and I had to pay my rent out of that. Yeah, I was making $40, but my rent was only $80. But I still, you know, as a young person, I still didn't consider, girl, you still got lights to pay. You still got to put gas in this little bitty car that you got. You know, you still got to do all of that other stuff, right? You still got to eat. I wasn't even thinking about the food. I was just thinking about, oh, I'm about to have my own apartment, and I wasn't thinking about food. Wasn't thinking about the light bill. I was just thinking, whoa, $80 a month. Oh, I got that. I can do that. Yeah. Yeah. That was lesson learned, okay? Lesson learned as a young person. But when I went through that job, what I learned was, if you are better than everybody else picking up this phone, they would call me the night operator. Because, you know, when I answered the phone, everybody was like, wow, you have a great phone voice. And I was like, thank you, you know, and I made sure that I tried to be the best in the building. Because you know what that got me? When I needed more money than that $40 a week, I put in a good word. I said, listen, I have been doing better. I'm taking more calls than most people in the building. I'm consistent. My orders that I've taken, they are correct. I'm doing all types of this stuff for people. I need a full-time job. And guess what I got? Because I was working my can off. I got the full-time position that other people had been waiting to get. Because I understood the assignment that I was there for. I went ahead and put in my best work so that I can get that job. Then when I got that full-time job, I was like, this is not paying enough. I need a raise. And guess what? I got that raise because I understood the assignment. You're not here for you. You getting your benefit as your paycheck every week, every 2 weeks. You're here to make sure these customers keep coming back. Hi, Sunny Zay. Hello. How are you? So that reminds me of how my mom would get bonuses because of her positive attitude. It's not so hard. It's not so hard. It's really not. Make people believe that you are there for them. Because with customer service, you are supposed to be anyway. Hi, David Hunt. How are you doing? Yeah. It's not that complicated. It's not that complicated. And so when you get in a situation like what we're in right now, it helps you to be so grateful. And it helps you. I don't like complaining, and I don't like complainers, and I don't like it when it starts to creep up in me either. So I have to check myself too. I have to check myself and say, what are you complaining about? There are people out there living in tents. You got a whole RV. You got a whole RV. There's people out there living on the side of the road in tents. And then you want to tell me about off-grid living and how you can't do this, you can't do that. I'm like, you can do anything that you want to do. You can do anything that you put your mind to if you stop complaining, stop making excuses, and do it. Get it done. I cannot wait for that well digger to get here. I'm telling you, I can't wait for him to get here. But in the meantime, yes, I got these gallons of water that I'm so fortunate to be able to go and buy or go and fill up or refill or whatever has to be done. I'm grateful. I'm grateful for that outdoor shower. Yeah, I got a shower in here too. I don't have as much water as I want to have. I can't take no 30-minute shower no more. So I'm complaining. We have nothing to complain about, to be honest with you. We have nothing to complain about. And all that does anyway is blocks your blessing. It blocks what is coming to you when you sitting around complaining. The VA growing gardener. Hey, my friend, how you doing? I hope everything is well with you and your family. Seasons a tree, you better say that. That type of thinking will hold a person back. The one thing that I know for sure, that if you are grateful, if you're grateful and you're truly grateful for what you are already blessed with, you'll get more and more and more of what you think about coming to you. You don't have to ask nothing. You don't have to start no GoFundMe. You don't have to start, crowdfunding. You don't have to do any of that. When you are grateful and you have a grateful heart, I know a lot of people don't like talking about the universe, but the universe will make sure that you are properly aligned to go and get everything that you think about. I promise. All energy, David. The universe is made from energy. You can get everything you think about if you are first grateful. I promise. I promise. I promise. Robin Caesar, how you doing, sis? Say it loud. I promise. There are so many things that I didn't know how they were going to happen. Yet they happening. When we lost the first property, when we lost the first property and lost our money, I was like, wow. I'm losing money on real estate. One time I just decided, the first time that I lost money in a transaction was I was trying to buy a house, and I'm trying to deal with Bank of America, okay, which never again will I ever on this side of life. If they were the last bank, I'd just put it up under my mattress. I decided, after I had gone through getting inspection, getting appraisal, putting earnest money down, all of the stuff that you go through, that I didn't want to buy in that neighborhood. I didn't want to buy in that neighborhood. And so the guy was like, you do realize that you're about to lose this money, right? And I said, yeah, I realize it. But I'd rather lose this little money on the front end than to get into something, to get into a 30-year commitment for something that I don't even want. So, yeah. And my husband was right there behind me. He was like, we'll make it back. We'll run it back. And that's what we did. So I went right back And I did it again. Got the money back. Because I'm working. I'm grinding. I'm business owner. I'm doing whatever it took to get my money back. And that's what I did. I got the money back. And so then to get to the point again where something is out of your control and you lose the money, that feels different. It does feel different. Something feels different about that. But he came with the same thing. We'll get it back. Don't worry about it. We'll get it back. And I'm like, but the land, I wanted that piece of land, putting money into it, putting time into it, putting energy, effort into it. I wanted the piece of land. And he was like, there's more where that came from. And guess what? There is more where that comes from. It's more where that comes from. So focus on being grateful. A grateful heart can get you everything that you want in this world. Yeah, it'll get you everything that you want in this world. So no complaining, to the people that are concerned about us, being off grid and that, it's so terrible. Hey, I'm right here on the phone with y'all. I'm using your phone. I got my little power pack right here. It's powering my light for me so that I can talk to y'all. Or guess what? I could have been outside. It's even more bugs outside than it is flying around. These freaking fruit flies and stuff flying around in here. It's even more bugs outside. I could have been out there. Matter of fact, I could have to just stay out there like some of these other people who are living in these tent communities. We got to be grateful. We got to learn how to be grateful. So going to work with your bad attitude, it's not going to get you anything better. It's just not. It's not going to get you those blessings that are laid up waiting for you to be a better person, to have a better attitude, to be grateful for what you have, to be grateful for your children, to be grateful for your boyfriend, your girlfriend, your husband, your best friend, anybody who is there to truly support you. It's just sitting there waiting on you to be grateful for some of that stuff. I told my kids we probably won't be having no potato chips no more because the price is so high on these boxes of potato chips. The prices are so high. So guess what? If we can't get potato chip, guess what we're going to do? We're going to grow some of this popping corn next year. We're going to grow some of this popping corn next year. And we're going to have some popcorn. Right now, popcorn is still, you can't get the microwavable kind because, honey, oof. Look at that. David Corey said, make your own kettle chips. So much stuff that we can do. Rambo Green Hands, I wish I could pin that. Negative attracts negative. Blessing. Sifting some soil and more. I make my own potato chips. Listen, we are gifted. We have so many skills. We should be really so grateful. We should really be so grateful. We teach each other so much on these live streams. We teach each other so much. We should never complain about anything. We should be grateful. We should be so grateful because there's so much that we can do if we just stop complaining and get to work. Get those negative people out. Absolutely. This is so true, Gigi. We love you. I love y'all back. I love y'all back. That's why I spend my time here. I spend my time here because as much as you all pour into me, I'm forever grateful. I'm forever grateful. You know, I think I'm very I'm very straight and kind of, I'm simple when it comes to a lot of things. And so when somebody says, "Oh, you can make you can use your boiled water and water your plants with it. Let it cool down first, But you can use your boiled water and water your plants with it." And I'm like, "What? Off of rice?" Really? I'm grateful. I'm grateful to whoever said that because I never thought about using the rice water. Never thought about it. But as we're on here sharing with each other, pouring into each other, we can do so many more things than we give ourselves credit for. We really can. So be grateful. No complaining. You won't hear any complaints from me about this off grid and nothing. You ain't hearing no complaints about me from nothing else. Yes, I love putting boiled egg water on my plants. That's one of my regulars. Love it. Love it. Potato water. Yes. All of that. Remember, light shines its brightest when it's a lot of darkness. When it's a lot of darkness. So keep our lights lit. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for that. I am grateful. I have everything I need, and I have a few things I want. Life is good. I'm able to watch these great YouTube videos that are so helpful. Thank you so much. My pleasure. My pleasure. I use pot liquor for my plants all the time. It's the same as super juice you make with the weeds. Yeah. Yeah. So just stay grateful. That's my message for today. Just stay grateful. Yes, don't put the boiled water in your garden while it's hot. Yes, let it cool. Sit it to the side, let it cool down, and pour it on there. I'm so grateful. I have learned so much from you. LJ's okay. You all right with me. Thank you. Thank you for being here. I really appreciate that. So thank you guys for coming in today. I went a little longer than I was anticipating going. So thank you for hanging in here and staying around. But I just wanted to say, because so many people have been asking, "Are you all okay? Are you all okay?" Yeah, we're fine. I got to a point where I was trying to get a little frustrated because I'm used to my modern conveniences, right? As we all are. We're used to our modern conveniences. But I have taken the time to just embrace these things. Just taking the time to embrace what is here. There are so many people. It breaks my heart to see people have to be on the side of the road. People laying on the sidewalk, laying out on the side of the road with no protection from the heat. All of that type of stuff, like that really bothers me. So I saw one man walking down the street yesterday. We in the real country now. So he walking down the highway, and he had his pack on. He had his hat on, he had his backpack, and then we went where we were going. By the time we came back, he was sitting down, kind of laid back up under the trees on the side of the road, and like getting ready to drink. The simple things like that he thought enough to make a pack, to make a survival pack, to put on his back, to walk down the road, to make sure that he was going to have water. We have to be grateful for the simple things, and we will get so many more blessings. So many more things that we think about will come to us just off of being grateful for everything. Grateful for the hard times. Grateful for the easy times. Blessings, they'll just flow. They'll just flow. Thank you, Gigi, for keeping it real and speaking the truth. Much love and many blessings. And family, don't forget to hit that thumbs up on your way out if you forgot. If you forgot, hit that thumbs up. Thank you so much, Growing with Hudson. Thank you, Cassandra. I needed to be on this live chat. Gigi, you have reminded me to be grateful for the blessings that I have. Thank you. My pleasure. My pleasure, Cassandra. My mom is mad because she wants to go on a casino trip like our neighbor. I reminded her that our neighbor returned to her rental house. We are sitting in our paid for house. Hallelujah. No mortgage and security. Sensational container garden. Ooh, if I could just pin that one. Bell's Backyard Garden. Thank you, sis. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I appreciate the super chat. Hey, sis, going to have to catch the replay. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. And the little stars in the background, too. Thank you, love. Gratefulness lead to blessedness. Absolutely. VA Growing Gardener, thank you, sis. Blessings to you and the family. Grateful for you. I'm grateful for you as well. Thank you so much for being here. I really appreciate you guys. So take care of yourselves. Take care of your family. We are blessed. We are thoroughly, thoroughly blessed. I'm glad that you were able to get something out of it. Thank you, David Hunt. I appreciate you. But take care of your family. Take care of each other. And remember, guys, when you grow it, you know it. Peace and love to all of you. I'll talk to you guys next week. Get on up out of here, troll. Get on up out of here. We